I hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember, I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember. When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind works backwards just for a minute, I hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember.
Together as one, that's what you told me. So why right now are we fighting? Pull down your walls, let some light in. There's a whole world out there to see. Lately, I know that I've been missing, and I ain't been tripping over wires I lay to save me. Got so hard not to screw this. Never thought that it was okay just to say I needed you. Now here I stand, all that I am, and I am all the things I said I'd be. Oh, because of you, I'm whole again. Sometimes you just gotta turn the light on. Now I found the way. Together as one, that's what you told me. So why right now are we fighting? Pull down your walls, let some light in. There's a whole world out there to see. Never once did you presume I couldn't do this. You're the one who made me try. Didn't hold my hand but always by my side. In a world that's so demanding, head in the sky but now I'm landing. Oh, I never could just choose a path of least resistance. Now here I stand, all that I am, and I am all the things I said I'd be. Oh, because of you, I'm whole again. Sometimes you just gotta turn the light on. Now I found the way.
You said that she's one who helps you see how deep you're in love with me. And intentions were not to get in between, but I see possibilities. Maybe silly for me to feel this way about you and her, 'cause I know she's been such a good friend. I know she has helped you through. I think I'm jealous of your girl. I think face from jealous of your
everyone, and welcome to the Newcastle Northumbria Varsity. I am Rook, and I'm joined by Calibros on the mic.
Hello.
And we're all here today with you for, well, hopefully a great Varsity. We've got 3 games coming up. We've got Rainbow Six, then we've got League of Legends, then we've got Overwatch. And, you know, what better day than May the 4th? Because, you know, they're going to need the Force to really, I don't know where I was going with this one. I like Star Wars. You like Star Wars.
It's okay.
Whatever works, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have our first match for Rainbow Six. We're going to kind of hopefully get right on that. We are a little bit late. Sorry about that, about half an hour late. No name calling. But so our first map, is it Bank?
Yeah, it is Bank. I believe it is
Yeah,
Bank.
it is Bank. It is Bank. And then our second map will be Cosine. And then if
Clubhouse.
it's not a 2-0,
Yes.
it'll be Clubhouse. Yeah. So we've got quite good set of maps, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at Bank, what kind of things are we really looking at from the defending side? Let's look at that first. Are we looking at a lot of spawn peeking, or what kind of holds are we looking at?
Well, I feel like majority of the play will be in terms of basement or second floor. Although, if we look at win rates, the highest win rate on this for sites on Bank would actually be Archives.
Oh, okay. So
it's the most played site in Pro League, actually. So because there's so much vertical play, it's on first floor. There's so much ground for roamers to roam around. There's a lot of tactics for it because there's so many different ways you can reinforce.
So thinking about that, one of the strategies that I've seen the most of for attacking that is utilizing the Montagna very well. And do you expect that from either of these teams?
Well, if they are well coordinated, Smokes and Wivamonti will work wonders for this map. Like we've seen in Pro League where Norengo just smoked off both sides on second floor while pushing for executive office, and it just ended up taking out the site immediately within less than 15 seconds.
Yeah, it is a really effective push. Interesting to see the Twitch back. So what do you think that actually belies and tells us about what what Northumbria want to do? I think it kind of tells us that we're expecting a mirror.
Sure, actually.
I think it means they're trying to run a mirror.
Yeah, that could be the case. But with the new operators coming out, there are many ways to deal with mirror, especially since the new capital changes.
Yeah, Capto's quite threatening now, and I'm interested to see whether we'll see people run it. I've seen it a couple of times over the course of USL, for example, and just in Pro League. See the Montagna band come out from Newcastle, trying to take it away from Northumbria earlier as they. I wouldn't be surprised to see a mirror ban here because Newcastle is kind of probably expecting it after that Twitch.
Indeed, but with the new capped out changes, I'm not so sure that running a mirror on bottom floor would be even viable anymore. It's a very tight corridor, and the fire spreads very fast.
Yeah, we flushed them out far too quickly, and
especially since capped out can fireball immediately, smoke it, immediately fireball right after, and then just you can start doing a plan because you have no way to throw a C4.
So instead, they've actually banned away the Echo, which is again a fantastic, has a fantastic resource for denying plants on that specific site. So not a huge surprise to see that.
And the fact that Echo gives so much information while also denying plants, and he also has a good gun.
Yeah, no, his gun is fantastic. Loving that ACOG.
There's a reason why he's one of the most banned operators.
Yeah, I mean, something else which I was expecting to potentially see was that Maestro, because it also deals well with smokes, much like Echo does.
I'm guessing it has to do with the recent Maestro nerfs.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. I agree with that. Interesting to see the Valkyrie band away in specific. Newcastle have been known to run it on occasion. I think it's maybe Northumbria want to try and deny some of that information gathering, because Newcastle have been pretty proficient in that at the very least. So what I'm expecting, I was going to say, so what's been playing a lot of Maverick recently, so I'm not particularly surprised to see that. And then Maestro is something else that I very much expected, considering we've seen the Echo band already.
So I'm actually very curious how they're trying to pick second floor on the first site.
Yeah, that is...
Maybe that's in preparation of trying to outplay their opponents.
Yeah, because you always go bottom floor.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to maybe get a free win there, catch them
by making them pick their wrong operators.
The thing is we see Patata, who is, by the way, Runda, they're unfortunately having to borrow an old Plymouth account, is bringing that sledge, which is great to deal with this castle. And they were just prepping for it. They've got the Zephyr as well. There's so many ways that they can actually deal with this, so they're very well prepped for it. Great, really flexible comp from Newcastle.
So it all depends on how the defenders set up their strategy, especially with how they utilize castles.
Setting trauma pack here.
I mean, Castle's obviously very strong on this specific site. You see him on basically specific sites. Overall, really, really strong.
But when he works out, it works out.
It's really important to always hold. How this... I'm not sure if Northumbria as a team have done a lot of rumors. I'm not sure. They might have changed up the style, entirely different setup, so that jamming might come in handy. But, you know, it's better to be safe than sorry. You actually see all those reinforcements around the back.
Lifting barricade.
They're trying to make sure they don't get shot from the outside. A little bit different, but hey. Now we have only one hard breacher though, so trying to get through was going to be
Window covered up.
There isn't any anti-hard breach though, so the lack of anti-electronics from Newcastle doesn't really hinder. Maybe it might mean the Maverick gets away with it, but with Sophia, Sledge, there's a lot of ways to get rid of that Maverick.
Indeed.
Sorry, not
Drone
Maverick,
ready.
The Maestro.
Sorry.
Like, I feel like they got the operators to deal with Maestro. Like, it really depends on how Maestro positions his cameras.
Can't quite see any of them on the map currently. We are seeing a lot of rotation.
We see a very heavy push on Skylight, actually.
Yeah, Runda's moving into position. Yes,
That is a kick on Legion.
big play to take down a player early on here.
Especially as it's Legion. Legion excels when he survives and goes for the long game. Last 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's so much value because those goo mines. We do see Belty get taken down. At least so the score is evened up, but they're so far already. Patata takes 2 out. Sorry, Runda gets a double kill. 3 kills so far at the start of this game, and looking pretty darn strong as well into a good position here. And now Runda just runs onto the site, takes down another one, and has complete site control. Newcastle looking strong early on here. The last player is off site. It's Master Matt. Does take down Potato, the real Potato this time, and is starting to rotate on back in. But as this rook, you heard from Amalo, Diffuser gets planted and it's 3 versus 1. What do you really do here?
Ooh, and that is a rook shot from Matt.
Yeah, turns around, takes down. So what though? This is a big play. Watch out for that grenade. It doesn't quite take him down, but it can pretty maneuver on through here. Quite find the player hiding behind the desk. They're just watching and waiting. Takes down Wonder, moves on to the next one. Takes down the Sophia as well. That's an ace from Master Matt.
I believe so.
That's absolutely fantastic.
So that is a round 1 ace. Especially, I'm actually really surprised with the three hip shot kills.
Yeah, no, I mean, to be fair, the MP5 has not got too bad a hip fire. It's quite nice. And they were relatively close range. It was a nice set of flicks, honestly, there from Master Matt, proving they are indeed the master. And that Newcastle are the Padawans here. I'm going to keep on making Star Wars jokes. You might not get them, Terry, but everyone at home, I know you love them. I know you do. I think we're a little bit
Now
quiet.
on to the next round with Northumbria going basement.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just turning up sound for us to make sure we're not too quiet. That should be better, I believe. Sorry, just make it go. So now we are moving to basement.
Obviously, with the mirror being picked.
Yeah.
However, I'm kind of sad there's no Capital to play around, especially with the new
You might see
changes.
Belty move on to it. No, moves on to the Thermite instead.
Indeed, you do need hard breach for bottom floor.
Oh, you
that like that. That certain spot where you plant backwards is the best spot to plant.
For sure. This is really interesting though, because Northumbria, they took a gambit here and managed to clutch out in honestly one of the biggest comebacks I've seen in Rainbow Six for a while, where Runda moves on into the site, gets at 4K, really aggressively peeking.
However, they get aced out.
Yeah, like, how can you plan around getting aced?
Maybe they're just not warmed up yet. You know, they just weren't expecting a dog that was off-site to just pick them off one by one.
Honestly, Master Matt's rook is crazy, and he has picked it again. You know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. I'm not surprised to see him pick that again. But I'm surprised to not see any sort of an anti-electronic there, because I've seen a lot of cage trying to be used to put on these walls.
Indeed, hatches on basement are actually super vital. Because if you don't take the Fermat, you take the Kibata and Maverick. Even if they do take the cage, you take the Maverick. You take out all the hatches. Now there's so many entryways. And that's with the unfortunate spot peek onto Silhouette, which is the Jackal. However, they do get traded out.
Yeah, so that's not too bad.
And with their highest scoring member being down, who knows how Northumbria will perform.
It's like that classic thing where there's one person carrying when you're in a matchmaking game and they die and like, we won, game over, easy. This is really interesting. Is that a mirror just to the right here? I think I just noticed that on the wall just in here.
Northumbria saving strats? Question mark?
No, I think they might just be playing with that. Yeah, that's a mirror on that wall. This is a really interesting strategy. I'm wondering how they're going to run it.
But I don't see the point of that mirror.
Yeah, no one's even playing there.
Like, but besides it being
Newcastle
there,
know that as
you
well.
can't have someone playing there.
Yeah, you just get shot from the side. Though, Little Shiggy is watching this angle, just in case someone does try to peek it. But unfortunately, you can't really get too aggressive there. I am sad that we don't see the Hibana here.
That is actually some very good coordination for the Dokavi and the Ash.
Yeah.
As you can see, they got called, and as they went to answer, they end up popping the mirror.
Yeah, that's really nice. And now Newcastle are in such a great position. Although Potato does get taken down, Anonymous is absolutely on it. The Thermite will get resolved into this wall though, and this is a big game for Newcastle. This is one of their game, the things they need to actually complete this game. And Little Shiggy's moved aggressively into this room. Getting flashed out a little bit, needs to be careful as Newcastle do look for that plant now. They dropped the classic drop the diffuser on the first one. Has the C4, tries to blow it, doesn't find anyone. That's
actually very vital because Northumbria have no more C4, no more plant denial.
Yeah, and Belty
And
is going to get this.
With the concussion masking the sound of the plant, that is a free plant.
Yeah, the mirror could be aggressive and now pushes on up. Ronda is absolutely on it this time. Does get another kill, but Anonymous is starting to rack these up. You need to be very careful. Was actually on the flank. When it turns around, it's 2 versus 2 now. But Newcastle have the plant. Hopefully they don't choke it out this time. Last time it was a 3v1 and they still lost, but Senate gets the early kill, takes down Belty. It's only Ronda. Does have...
Can he clutch it out?
Yeah, it is 1 versus 2. Is far back into the site. Tries to make the aggressive push. Does little Quiche. Quiche gets taken down. And there, Ronda finds the second kill. And for Newcastle, is looking like one hell of a carry.
Well, he certainly has redeemed himself from last round.
Yeah, he certainly has. Choked out the last one. Won this one. You know, give and take, give and take. But so, are we expecting Northumbria to go back to that site now? Well, it looks like they are.
It's either basement or
Yeah.
archives on this point.
And I actually don't think that you ever go back to that top floor instead of basement, because I think that was a one-off, and they got proved. It was proved to them that like they just completely dropped their defense, and the only reason they won was a huge clutch from Matt. And I don't think you can rely on that every round.
Now, I'm really excited to see how this Capital will play out, especially on basement, with the same setup.
Yeah, I actually think it's going to be fantastic.
Though with the
They're ready for it now. They're
The
expecting
smoke does bring the utility for anti-plant.
Yes.
Along with Maestro.
Yeah, I do really like that, because it's just basically a pretty similar setup. Also bringing Ying to get those Candelas in.
Though I feel the Jaeger
Yeah.
might counter that a bit. We do have enough flashes.
Do have enough flashes. Also, like, you can get a lot of sight view onto that site prior. Like,
Indeed.
there's not really anywhere you can hide
But
those.
I think
Jaegers
the
that you can see.
the most important operator here for attack is actually the Kibana. To be a solo flanker over all other hatches.
That's
Just
a
to
good
apply
point.
pressure. even
Because
if
they don't have a
have-
cave.
Yeah, they don't have a way to deny it, unless they have roamers outside.
So the interesting thing about this is I want to see what Matt does in this game, because obviously last round they did a run out and they
ending
got a
up-
kill,
But
but
1-for-1 trade is not worth it.
Not
Especially, yeah.
especially when Matt was such a huge player
I mean,
in the early round.
if you took out the Thermite, that would have been a working trade.
Yeah, that's true.
However, it was the Jackal.
And it is just a gamble, and especially if the team is expecting it, Newcastle are not going to fall for that again. They're going to be like, he's going to do a run out. isn't he?
Well, you say that.
Why would they do it again? That would be stupid, right? And then they do it again, and you get caught out. Actually, there's a lot of players on this ground floor right now trying to play this kind of lurker role. Also do some reinforcing, as you can see the center.
It could be that Matt's covering for the Maestro while reinforcing it.
It's true. I would expect to see Matt actually hang around here more. Ronda's very aggressive here.
We do see immediate control of open area.
But that's really important because now they can move to open these hatches. Senate doesn't even go to contest it. So now Ronda has gotten control of all of this, and no one's really going to stop him.
Yeah.
And that means the Habana can now move in. So what can open all these up. And Tata's moved it now towards the bottom pool.
Though I am kind of curious of how Matt is still in the upstairs toes.
Yeah, this is
And
going
we
to be a
see
fight
engagement between Ash and Rook.
Yeah, and there we go. Ronda takes down Matt early on, and this time wins that duel. This is pretty good, honestly, for Newcastle. This is exactly
A
what we
very
want.
tight spot for Northumbria. Because with 2 minutes on the clock and 1 man down.
Yeah, and they're not really contesting.
Especially since
this area.
the attackers have not used any utility so far.
No, they haven't. And these hatches are going to go. You're going to be put under even more pressure. Thermite can move on in. I don't know where the Maestro cams are right now for Northumbria.
I don't know where the smoke is.
The smoke is sitting in garage.
Okay. I didn't see
It's just a weird, like, these Maestro cams have been done, and in the previous round as well. Like, they should be a huge part of holding this,
it.
shouldn't
Yes,
they?
especially. Like, even with it in service, you can buy time by taking out the thermite charge.
Yeah, I think that would have been a good idea, because then they
We see the plant going down. However, sound is once again being covered by the Ash charge this time.
Yeah, Newcastle's doing a really clean plant here, and also they've got above. You've got So What putting pressure down. This is going to be a lot harder to push than they did prior.
Especially with 5 people up. Oh, and
yeah.
we see the Capsule Fireball help bring down smoke.
This is a big play. So What is left with so much pressure on these now players hitting instead. Anonymous can't really make that flank that they did in prior rounds. I say that, they do take down Potato here.
However, they do get injured.
It might be too
That
late.
is a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, there's no way you're really going to be able to get that, especially because you just waste your time. And there we see finally the Senate goes down to so what, and Newcastle with a strong attacking round. So, yeah. Sorry, just checking. Said game allowed. Yeah, we already know about the game sound being louder than casters. We have changed that around. Now it should be significantly us being louder.
I hope so.
I hope so. Yeah, I want people to hear our
Listen
beautiful
to
voices.
Indeed.
Dulcet tones.
Oh, we do see a rotation onto second floor again.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the bottom floor has not been working. I think
But
that's why.
I was kind of more hoping for archive pick, because both teams so far we haven't seen much vertical play, even when the options for hatches are there.
Yeah, I think that's not particularly great because Northumbria have not been holding off-site very well. And then you've got to deal with below and above, and everything starts to fall apart. I don't actually think that's a good strategy for Northumbria to actually enact. We actually see the Glaz now from So What feeling himself a little bit. So What is a good aimer, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this be quite dominant. They use it very effectively for entry.
I was actually surprised the attackers team hasn't picked IQ when we saw the team flop. You've got the Legion, you've got the Bandits, which you can deal with from underneath.
They don't have any anti-electronics. That's just kind of stupid. No. Newcastle don't have any anti-electronics.
Indeed, but maybe they just don't play around. They're not used to playing around it.
Yeah, I mean...
As you can see, there are very fragmented teams.
They are, but I've seen them run Thatcher again and again and again. And it hasn't even been banned out here.
Indeed.
I've also seen the Twitch, and I think that's why we potentially saw it banned from Northumbria. But it's just strange to not see them run the Thatcher when the Thatcher would be so effective.
Especially with the nerfs to Maestro, and how they keep bringing Maestro.
Yeah.
One Thatcher grenade, you clear the room, you take down the Maestro camera.
It will be pretty key. I think what we're going to see potentially instead is Newcastle either do the aggressive push that they did last time where they just walk on through, or they blow up the floor underneath those those walls, and then take out the...
I think that would be the Ash's job to take out.
Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen. So, Newcastle...
we see Glaz here at a very low flank. Though I'm kind of worried for him, as the Bandit is playing at the typical spot where he holds against lobby pushes.
I think the Glaz is pretty favoured in this shot. Sorry, in this position.
Ooh, and he does see someone.
He's getting the shots down. They're
Injure,
down
that
him.
is the injure, and that is a kill. With the castle being down.
If you give So What a shooting gallery, he's pretty good sometimes.
Counting no max.
Duck hunt.
Oh! But no, aggressive push again from Ronda, takes down one, gets pushed. Oh,
Unfortunately, gets taken down. However, does injure Matt.
Yeah, and it's actually going to go down.
Doorless does trade him out. And that is a 3-2 for Newcastle, with time on their side.
Yeah, this is pretty good for Newcastle, honestly. Anonymous is sitting here in this store cupboard.
Though, do note, the glass will still be in the car
That's true.
at this time. So it is a 2v2 technically in a close range course.
Yeah, they've got a little
Glass
bit of time.
cannot help them hit while they're in this area.
I don't know, the glass is on the right now. He's actually broken.
That is a tight angle. A pretty tight angle.
Yeah, unfortunately, a little bit too tight and can't quite find the shot. It does take out Doorless sword. There we go, Senate does even it up to 2 versus 2. Now, continuing to try and get aggressive, wants to get this pick now. Oh, almost gets another, and almost goes down themselves. 2 very low members, 1 apiece.
However, Legion does have the advantage.
Doesn't have to push.
Especially with all those goo mines.
Yeah, Potato really needs to be careful now. Moving on in would be very difficult.
Though I am kind of displeased with how little Maestro action there is.
Yeah, we basically haven't seen it being used, which is really surprising. Oh!
He forgot there was an angle from Janitor Closet. Just didn't check the angle.
Big mistake from Belty.
Unfortunate. And with Potato being so low, and so many Legion mines on site, will she be able to clutch it out?
I think it's very unlikely, honestly. It needs to be careful as well for the...
I mean, but we did see how Matt clutched out the first round. There is always a chance.
There's always a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. But how big that chance is entirely different. I'm only 15 seconds on the clock. It's going to be really difficult for Potato to move in. Doesn't have much health. There are Legion mines everywhere. There's people covering multiple angles. it's all but over.
Now
Yeah,
here
you
we
can't
see
do it.
some Maestro action. Unfortunate, very unfortunate.
With a good round four, actually. So far, this top side's actually been working out really well for them. So, yeah. I think we'll probably see them try to return to there where they can.
I felt like Newcastle could have spent a bit more time gathering information compared to actually checking information with their heads. Although that does work out, you put yourself at a bigger risk, way bigger risk.
And you don't need to.
Indeed.
With the way Newcastle have been working, they've just been fragging out. We see a smoke again from Little Shiggy. And they're going to archives, yeah.
About time.
You have been touting it as a nice site. I'll be interested to see how they hold that specifically.
Though the attackers actually have a very good comp, with the Sledge and Jackal both being able to open floors.
Yeah. I think that's
And
actually...
I'm very surprised, because Bandit's the only one with C4 to deal with them.
Yeah, I'm maybe even moving off of Bandit. We actually see them moving off of Sledge, though. This is, I think everyone's confused here. Genuinely.
Maybe the players feel like playing Blitz and Dock, you know?
I mean, yeah.
Gentleman's agreement?
To play specific... Matt, Terry, what are you on about?
I don't know.
I wish I knew what you were on about as well.
I wish I knew as well.
Anyway, so, going on here, what's the really key part for Newcastle on this? And what a
It
Northumbria
really
need to do to try and
depends
counter
on which side they push from.
Okay.
Because we do see the Thermite, that opens up the avenue of pushing through open area. We could get a team pushing from lobby. That's always an option, although it's a very open area.
Funny that it's more open than open area, isn't it?
Indeed, yeah. And then we could get a push from alley access into Skylight down into the archives.
It's true. I'm interested to see how they're going to push
And
from
there's
above. If they're going to push from
there's
above.
even play from above.
Without the Sledge, though, less likely. Master Matt,
But even then,
Get a bit cheeky.
Jackal by himself on upstairs
true.
while opening vertically and also scan. And here he goes for another spawn peek.
Yeah, but does it a little bit too early. Master Matt doesn't find anyone and actually gives away their position. He's now going to have to rotate out. Has to be very careful. He's going to get him to the flank of the cutter. He's going to take him down as this rush was a little bit of a mistake. So what does refrag, though? So not the worst thing in the world, but losing that shield, that hurts the man's soul.
Well, shields are always bad again when they face more than one opponent.
They're getting too aggressive here.
Indeed, indeed.
And they're getting hard punished for it as
They,
Anonymous takes them
they
down.
need to start playing more together
Yeah, they do.
rather than just fragging out each other.
So, Dollar's Sword... Everyone just seems to be alone, from what you can see.
Indeed.
We saw one refrag.
I'm actually surprised the Thermite hasn't come to open area yet.
We'll
I
start
say
from-
that, never mind.
There is a player push. But they do counter him quite well. And now it is the opportunity to resolve this Thermite on the wall.
Though I don't know if this would be wise, especially with the lower amount of people at the moment.
Yeah, I think you want to kind of move
Because
in.
it does open up a new shortcut for them to rotate around.
Yeah, Dollar's Sword just wasn't looking at the wall. Quiche peeks the angle and just takes him down. This is huge mistakes for Newcastle and Northumbria punishing adequately. Looking like a much stronger team, at least in this round. Because Newcastle just making pretty rookie mistakes so far.
Yes, indeed.
LP. He's one of the two members left alive and they're just nowhere near each other. And it's not something we expect from any teams who've been playing yourself. Because you got to group up. You got to be with your friends. And otherwise you move in to an angle which you can't really push aggressively. Now there's going to be a smoke going down, but that smoke's going to get pushed from another angle. But Tojo misses this shot. That's really
That was a personal peak. And here we see the Jaeger doing actually pretty good repeaking.
Yeah, that was really nice. Another round, and now it is 3-2 after what looked like a really great start from Newcastle in rounds 1, 2, and 3. Even though they lost round 1, you could chalk that one up to.
Well, Newcastle got divided and conquered.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Exactly what happened, right?
Yeah.
They just got picked off one by one in groups, in small groups.
Yeah, Northumbria definitely playing better as a team, at least in those last 2 rounds.
And here we see that they've decided to smarten up and start playing more around intel.
Indeed. I hope they utilize this IQ well. But now we see them moving to open area. What's going on with that?
Could be a flex pick.
I mean, yeah. It's just a little bit strange.
People never expect it.
It's true, and it did used to be a pretty popular site early on in the days of Pro League. Hasn't seen much play recently, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong, so do bear with me on that. But it's not a terrible site, to be fair. There are worse.
Especially since they played Teller really well.
Yeah, they did.
The play style of them being all over the place and not giving the attackers any rest is
What you really
out.
need to do here.
Yeah.
I think Newcastle really need to sharpen up and play more as a team, otherwise they are going to get taken down pretty aptly by Northumbria. I'm interested to see what's going to happen after the after the side switch.
We do see Sowat being disgusted with site choice.
Yeah, can you blame him?
No.
No. It's fun enough to play. I hate holding the angle at from the north and the east angle here. It's just always such a pain, no matter who you are. Even if you've got the ACOG.
No matter which side you're on.
Yeah. It's just a mess. And sometimes someone randomly peeks and you're like, why would they do that? And then you just die.
It's
Yeah.
we all understand.
Barbed wire going.
Unless you don't play Rainbow Six Siege, in which case. It's like... It's like, oh, well, I was going to say it's like TCP, but it's not really. It doesn't really go on very long. Well, it can. Basically, either this site like ends in a flash, or just you never take it. That's all how I feel about it. The attack started with impressive pushing. Toto gets taken down by Master Man with the revolver there. That's
Unfortunate.
So they will get the drone in at the very least, so Rim is trying to get some information, but it gets taken down pretty early on. Free Fire doesn't quite find it. Because they're already down a player as well. And a very important player in this side, I mean, not in the way they're holding it, but what they would expect them to be held, is to have to deal with a lot of roamers. And they no longer have that jackal to try and deal with it. So they're under a lot of pressure now, because they have no information. There's a player just sitting under this window. That's cheeky. That's the BM
Very,
no
very
respect
risky
play.
play though, especially if you drone.
Yeah.
If you drone well
Imagine
as a team.
droning as a team.
Like, one Capital Fireball will kill him.
Yeah, well...
Especially since Capital's watching the window.
yeah,
And
but
here
like,
we see the drone.
I don't think Duel of Sword actually saw that, though. Like, I actually don't think they were looking for that. But, so what is now setting up for a decent push here through Archives.
All set.
They use all three on the same area.
One pellet being missing.
That is actually brutal, because now you have to crouch. Keisha does get taken down. And now, with So What holding this angle, in a pretty good position. So What moves on in. Ronda takes down the player as a refrag. The Senate is down. They've now got control of this A site. This is a big opportunity. Everyone else is pretty much off-site. Anonymous is now moving in through the prior opened hole. Archives here, trying to get aggressive, trying to find that get some shots down. Smoke goes down as well, takes down Ronda here. Tries to spray through the wall to find one of those team winning players. Gets refragged though by Duel of Sword. It is now 2-2. And Duel of Sword is just spraying and praying. Hasn't quite found anything yet.
It's the Capital LMG at its
He's getting
finest.
rushed! No! Master Matt just walks at him and Duel of Sword gets taken down. Not much health left. He's hiding under the table. Now finally, Master Matt will peek it and Belly takes him down! What is going on? No, but, like, how do you get away with this? Just shoot him through the side. Shoot him through the side of the table. Like, what are you doing? Don't. Oh my god. And now we have our round switch. Side switch come on through. Newcastle moving over to defense and Northumbria taking up that offensive push.
I'm in a current mood of being both amused and disappointed.
I can't believe A, that Belty did that.
And it
B,
worked
that it
out.
worked. Like, it must have been some sort of Jedi mind trick.
Whatever. Let's move on.
Okay, alright. I love this pulse, by the way. I actually love this pulse. I think it's really good.
It is actually a very typical way to play Pulse and Gold while with Udmira, just to watch for the plant.
Yeah.
So Udmira gets a guaranteed C4. And it's now they have 2 C4s. With Cade playing around hatches, especially since Hibana has been picked. Though the Maverick can open up hatches, it does take a lot of time and fuel.
Yes, it does.
Which will give a roamers enough time to frag him.
Yeah.
Or to buy time. Though we do not see a roaming comp.
No, we don't. But that hasn't stopped Newcastle from roaming before.
Yes.
It hasn't really stopped. I guess you could maybe have the Pulse do something, and the Legion can get away with it. When Legion first came out, they were like, Legion, Roman. And it didn't really work.
I mean,
But
it does
can
work out. Legion excels at gathering information. with his gadget.
Yeah, he doesn't play a conventional roaming style, but you can kind of get away with it.
It's like playing with an Ela, but you have more traps. But you don't have more cover.
I mean, people play Ela after they nerfed her gun.
Yes.
Really? Wow.
Surprisingly, yes. It's simply because her gadget does have its uses.
I'm just going to ask our observer to put up the... sorry, I'm just going to ask him to put up the scoreboard. Alright, there we go. Right, so... Northumbria have all set this up. And... Now they're moving in. I really like this Jackal because they don't know what to expect from Newcastle, at least early on. You can kind of get the taste of it.
The Jackal does help out the glass, especially with the Dofi too. So you got 6 smoke grenades to play around with. That is one whole minute of smoke time.
Ugh, that disgusts me greatly. I wouldn't want to deal with that. On a long angle, I think it's not as strong potentially on this site.
No.
It really depends on the situation.
Well, there are a few angles glass can take here.
Yeah.
Like we can see him play server, but I can also see him play garage.
Yeah, I think Garage is probably... I can't quite see what they're doing, but I think Garage wouldn't be a bad idea.
If they drop off from elevator and get the glass to watch the long corridor while someone else watches vault, glass can play that angle as well.
That's true. We'll see how it works out, as they have taken control of server room, obviously very early. And we can test it. They're very worried because the hatch has been opened above them, and that just instills a sense of dread. And Little Shiggy takes a little bit of damage for their troubles. There is actually someone waiting up there. They have to be very careful as they make the push on in. So what? Putting some good shots, but don't feel luck.
Here we see the Legion getting picked very early on in the round.
Yeah, just moved up too aggressively. And Master Matt, absolutely on the ball. Do not disrespect this player. They will punish you greatly. So what, though? Using that gun to take him down with that scope on the pistol. But Little Quiche does refrag, so still Newcastle at a deficit. But Belty is alive and knows where these players are.
And they do still have the 2 C4s at the time.
Yes, this is not the
Like,
worst
K's utility is ready in use. Legion is unfortunate, but
it's worth. Yeah, you see Global Sword now getting a little bit aggressive, cheeky.
I am very surprised the Hibana is not helping them just open it.
Yeah, where is the Hibana? The Hibana isn't even doing hatches as well. This is a little bit of miscommunication here, I think. This Hibana's in the wrong place. The Glasgow we haven't seen much from yet. I mean, just to see when it
You
gets...
say...
Here comes the smoke, actually.
Yes. I would say that's a misuse of C4, but...
What? What? The smoke comes down, and the Glaz runs through, takes down Potato, and Anonymous just frags out as Northumbria win attacking round 1. This is not how I expected this round to go.
Well... Oh, so as Glass pushed in, Hibana dropped from elevator or vault, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think that's
And they pushed at the same time, so even if Glass died, Hibana would have been traded.
This is interesting. I mean, it just feels a little bit over-aggressive, especially when you just use that smoke.
But hey, it works out. People do not expect pushing through smoke.
People don't expect you to, push through smoke, especially when you just throw it.
It's the same with, like, Thermite does a breach, people don't expect you to push right through it.
Yeah, so that's really interesting to me because obviously cuts a little bit of CS as well, and it just reminds me of Smoke Criminal, Stewie 2K, who like basically was well known on the NA ladder for just running through smokes, and everyone's like, why would you do that? Like, no one runs through smokes, it's a bad idea. And then he just caught everyone off guard. And same thing happening here in Northumbria, utilising that element of surprise and that wild card play.
Well, here we see them playing upstairs with the castle. I'm actually really interested in how the Alibi uses their utility.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. I think maybe...
Because Alibi's gadget is very good at aerial now.
Yeah, it certainly is, because obviously you walk in and you're like, there's a person there.
And it's the type of gadget that, as you play, you use, instead of just deploying it all and start like bigger.
I'm setting up my mirror rooms where everyone thinks that I'm standing in one place and there's 3 of me. I don't know what I don't dare know what I meant.
Or you hold angles, you shoot them. If it misses out, you just place down a hologram, and if they repeat it, they reveal themselves in 5 times.
Yeah, I mean it's very strong ability. When it's actually triggered, sometimes it is hard to actually get it being used. So far, Runda being the standout player really for Newcastle. Northumbria have 2 players on 10 and 11 each, so fragging out similarly, even though we saw Matt being that huge player early on in the round.
They're carrying their own weight.
They certainly are. Northumbria playing more as a team, I believe. Yeah. So you do see a player climbing up the wall. Now we have the Glaz for the Senate as well. Getting aggressive here. Just one place at one time to hold that. As they do realise quickly and divert themselves out of the way. You just see the Senate kind of holding that, making sure no one sits down that long corridor, because if you do, you're going to get punished.
Now here we see Castle playing here. I'm suspecting he's gonna impact strike from above. Especially the hard breach. They don't have any anti-hard breach, but it doesn't matter because you can just throw impact on the ceiling and it'll hit the Hibara charges. It's the same way of how you deal with Thermite.
Yeah.
However, a lot of people don't notice. So when you're standing up and placing Thermite, and when you're crouching down and placing Thermite, they're different heights, but they open up the same size hole.
Oh, I didn't know that, but we see 2 frags quickly from Northumbria. Again, this explosive play, as they do just get caught out in Newcastle. Under a lot of pressure now with 2 less players. And make it 3 as Little Shiggy shoots through that barricade, taking down Potato. Sorry, Runda here. 2 versus 5. Great position to be in, as Matt's also putting pressure from Plaza.
Well, Alibi and Jack will both tracking each other here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Alibi is the one who does get taken down as Anonymous. Brings in some help on this Habana.
And can Belty 1v5 clutch?
It's going to be difficult. Good player, but...
So much utility being in use.
Yeah, it does get unfortunately caught. Goes aggressive to try and take down Shiggy there. He just overextends too much, as Northumbria do take him down. The call out comes from the player, and instantly there's the refrag. Great call outs from Northumbria so far, as they have taken it to 5-3. 2 more rounds and they will have taken this map pretty darn deftly. So far.
We do see Newcastle's defense getting picked apart.
Yeah, we do.
Very surgically as well.
Again, it's Northumbria all being on the same page and knowing, just communicating better, I believe. Because Newcastle, Northumbria, I think Newcastle individually may have some of the better players. Especially, I think Runda's really fantastic. I really rate So What. I mean, I would just literally go through all of these players. I think they're all really good. But Northumbria, they are together as a team. And then you have some of these really big fraggers. And you don't need everyone to be a big fragger.
See,
I think Northumbria are playing their roles better.
It's a very team-based game.
Yeah, it is.
You don't need to aim well to get frags. If
you really don't.
Yeah, using utility perfectly will
Tell
win
me
you
that
every
for sure,
round.
can't you, Terry? Mr. No Aim, No Brain. You just sit in an angle. Shit. I'm messing with you. Anyway.
You what?
So we now see the Caveira. Caveira. I always say Caveira. We'll go with that.
Yeah, we'll go with Caveira.
From So What. So trying to sneak around a little bit and get some of these picks. I think it's a bit cheeky. I don't think it's very good. I think Northumbria would like to clean, which would be relevant. So I think that's from So What here. And I think it's a bad pick.
Well, Caveira is very hard to utilize, especially even harder to get interrogation down. It's like playing a Frost. It only happens because your opponents misplay.
Yeah.
By being by themselves.
And it is a pick which I don't think is particularly fantastic.
And looking at the opponent's team comp, there's the KB, there's the Lion.
Oh no, there's a Finker.
There's the Sophia's concussions. If they drone well, the Caveira is going to get flushed out.
Yeah, I also think it's going to be really funny when you try to get this interrogate. The Finker pops their
Healing and
it just reses them instantly.
Yeah. And here we get a drone bug.
Beautiful. I love
it. Happens sometimes.
Esports ready.
Very.
The Lion coming out. That's a scary pick.
We do see Caveira hiding. Deep roaming, as we call it.
Yeah, deep roaming. Definitely not baiting their entire team by making them play 1v4 while So What sits under a bench. I mean, it worked for Belty, so why won't it work for So What? Yeah, exactly. So what, now moving out, getting too aggressive, punished instantly, and that is why you don't see these picks.
Especially very early in the round, when he has no information.
Yeah, it's just
Unfortunate.
And now they've given up open area control. There's a Hibana to deal with that.
Hibana's free to open every single hatch.
I mean, actually, I don't think you do want Hibana to do that. Because you need Hibana to open below. Because they don't actually have a thermite or anything.
Not when you open up all the hatches. There's just way too many entryways.
Okay.
And with the lion keeping you in place, like we say lion is nerfed, he still keeps you in place.
Yeah, he does.
And as long as you get kept in place, he is just as broken as ever. Except that when you move, you get less damage. That is simply how it is. So now we get two people with a crossfire, taking out the person using the mirror in the vault.
Yeah, this is absolutely brutal as Mastermat is just holding the angle, takes down another 2 players, and, well, it's 1 versus 5, and they know exactly where Belty is. Belty tries to make an aggressive peek to try and get away with it.
Once again, we see the defense team just get strategically outmaneuvered.
Yeah, they have been picked apart right now. So Newcastle, now, it's match point for Northumbria. Like, they win another round, and Newcastle just out of this. They've got one more, sorry, they have another loss, potentially, in terms of games, because, well, sorry, they have another game to make it up, and try and even it out so we can go to that 3rd map. But, you know, right now, I think it's possible we're just going to be going right back to coastline. I don't think there's really likely that we're going to see this match go on anymore. And I think Newcastle really need to redouble their efforts and play more around as a team going into the 2nd map.
Indeed. And not just as a team, but to use their utility more. They've got the drones, they've got their flashbangs, they've got their personal operator utilities. I think they're too reliant on their gunplay, I feel.
I think that's true. I think that is very true.
As much as I like watching gunplay, it's very unfortunate.
Yeah. It's, yeah. Not exactly what I wanted to see, but hey, it's what we get. And Newcastle, they've got a decent fight, but Northumbria definitely looking for a much stronger team right now. Obviously, we still haven't seen
if not individually, overall.
Yes, overall. Interesting to see. It's got a lot of priority on this Sophia. I don't really like that. I really like that it fits into so many comps and just has such a great variety of utility. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Sophia can open walls silently. Well, not as loud as Ash.
Yeah.
Sophia can use concussions. Sophia, even at her worst, can burn Jaeger ADSs.
And has so many charges for it as well, so it's just very strong. Belty looking for a cheeky evil eye here, but he's struggling to actually get it up. Yeah?
Struggling to get it up.
Okay, yeah. You can't just do that to me, Harry. You will Anyway, finally does manage to place it after messing around for a little bit. It's an interesting placement. They're trying archives now, and that was a big turning point for Northumbria. But I don't know whether it's going to work out for Newcastle, as right now they're just
we do see Render playing a very
interesting angle.
Yes.
We saw someone else
Though
playing.
we do see the
exact
Sophia
same
staring off, and he is buying time. But it depends on which side runs out of patience first.
You know, so far it's been Newcastle. That's the thing.
Indeed.
Northumbria have been really patient.
They've been getting caught out because of bad rotations, rotating too early, rotating without information. You know, and we see him get droned out. However, not
the drone doesn't see him. That is actually pretty funny. They do try and move it aggressively. Doesn't actually get the frag onto that Sophia, which is
however, does down her.
Yeah, but they move on in and they get the Havana up. There's going to be withstand coming through, but they get aggressive. They just rush on in, take down Runda, and now have A-site control. No one's really able. Sorry,
and
they're not on open area. I thought they were on open area.
And here we see the line utility being so strong. It doesn't matter if he gets nerfed.
Oh my god, Soul gets taken down as well. And this is brutal. Newcastle trying to go for some of these plays, make some of them.
Though Ash and Sophia are very low.
They are.
And they do have a lesion on their side.
That's true. That's actually pretty true. You're right there. I think the issue is Northumbria, which is really on the ball. They take down Quiche here, using that belt-fed gun to try and take them out. But even so, like, just...
Ooh, I really like that pixel angle he's holding.
Northumbria have just been on it so far, and Newcastle have been struggling to find those last 2 kills as we do see Belty get taken down.
So, with this wall being opened up, I wonder how they'll play around it. Especially with the line scan coming in.
down Dorla's sword. There's only one player left remaining, and they're just sitting in the corner tower. They do take down one, but Toto does get two. This could be a big clutch. They have a decent amount of health. They're getting aggressive here. Peaks doesn't quite take him down.
Very unfortunate.
That's really sad. Newcastle
So
lose map
it was
one.
very bad timing to swap weapons, but you couldn't call for that. You couldn't predict them
you
pushing
wouldn't
at
know
the
that.
exact
I mean,
same-
you could
yeah.
listen to the sound, to be fair.
But even then, like
Even
you hear the diffusers ticking down your ears. They've got a lion.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yes.
It's hard.
And with that, we've moved to game 2
Yeah.
onto Coastline.
Yeah, and that is 1-0 for Northumbria, and looking pretty darn good. Almost a 20k from Master Matt. Did have a little bit of a slump towards the middle of the game, but did pick it up again in that second half. Really strong on that Sophia, really strong at that on those attack rounds for Northumbria. Perhaps just punishing Newcastle being too aggressive here. Anyway, we're going to go to a quick break while we stop over. It shouldn't be too long, but we'll be right back.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind works backwards just for a minute, I hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you. You lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you. You make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember. I remember you. You lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you. You make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember. When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind works backwards just for a minute, I hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you. You lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you. You make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember. I remember you. You lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you. You make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember.
Hello everyone and welcome back. We're into game 2 here on Coastline. I'm Rook and joining me is Caliberus.
Hello.
And yeah, we're getting right back into it as soon as we possibly can. Ban 1 is coming through. And that is There we go. Montagna, finally. There we go. Oh yeah, just gonna enlarge
The
that.
Montagna band from Northumbria.
Yeah, and they was it Newcastle who banned it last
Newcastle
time?
was the one that
Yeah,
banned it last time.
that's interesting to see then. I mean, maybe they're thinking that Newcastle like running it because they picked the Blitz at least one round there. And I have seen them run it like once or twice before, but I think it's a bit of an assumption.
I think so. But Montagna is actually very strong on coastline. Because of they're all long linear corridors, like choke points, connections are all doorways and.
Yeah, that is actually really true because obviously it's much harder to get flanked. They have to go all the way around because it's a big
Indeed.
square. So you get what I mean. You have to make around the square.
It's hard to play around a Monty in the corridor race.
Yeah, that's
And
the gist.
the Glass ban is obvious. Glass is very strong. Echo ban is also very, very obvious.
Yeah, I mean Newcastle banned it on the prior map as well, so not surprising to see that again. Very strong, as you say, in pretty much every site. Like you can run it wherever. It doesn't really matter. It just provides information, especially with 2 different Echo drones now. I know it's quite a change that was quite a while ago, but it's still really relevant. Being able to have 2 is kind of disgusting.
And so now you can have one sitting on site while the other one can follow the roamer.
Yeah,
give
and you
them
can. It's
information.
expendable.
It's a drone for another roamer.
Yeah,
And
I'm
here
actually
we
really
see-
excited for Mozzie. But they banned Caveira. Why? Why? Northumbria.
We did see the under table sitting.
We did see 1 round of Caveira, which did literally nothing.
I mean,
from
he
Newcastle.
sat underneath the table for a minute, went to the kitchen, and then got
Died
out the game.
instantly.
Yes.
So Newcastle are the blue side, by the way. We unfortunately didn't set up team names before that. And Northumbria are the orange side. Northumbria up 1-0 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Looking absolutely fantastic, working very well as a team, and
With-
that's been key for them.
With the first site being Hookah and Billion, what do you expect to see?
Well, I expect to see Maestro for sure from the Senate.
Mhm.
It's not actually been particularly relevant, but I feel like it needs to be there. It's their lucky
Yeah,
charm at
yeah.
this point because it hasn't really been used.
I-
We
I-
are, by
I
the way,
feel
allowing
like-
line for people who have just tuned in at home. We're just trying it out, seeing how it is with the new
I
thing.
still feel Lion
I
is
still think
as
he's
strong
pretty-
as before.
I don't think he's as strong
If
as
not
before.
stronger, he does get an extra charge.
Yeah, but it's pretty short.
And
it's much shorter.
It
now.
takes much faster. Like, it takes 1.5 second to charge up. Instead
I'm
of
unsure about it.
Instead of 3 seconds, which you get to put yourself in a safe spot.
Okay, I kind of get where you're coming from, but I still don't. I think it's stronger before.
Await
because
to
it was
be
so
seen.
long. Yeah,
But nothing denies that Lion is as strong as you.
yeah, I still think he's very strong, for sure. I'm interested to see the fact that we saw the swap off of the Valkyrie and onto the Vigil here, which is strange to me, because I think the Valkyrie.
Then again, I don't think like Northumbria ever had intel. from it.
I don't think they do. I think it's true, but having a Valk just makes it so much easier, so much better. Actually, I say that their defenses weren't great in comparison to their attacks.
Yes.
Their
attacks were strong.
And I don't actually think they had a lot of information on their defense, and I think that's why Newcastle caught them off guard a lot of times. I think they cleaned it up in later rounds, but I think adding that Valkyrie would really provide so much for them. You actually see Master Matt back on this Rook. Got an ace in round 1 to counteract a 4K from Patata, who is actually known as Runda. Who also, like, just literally ran on site, got a 4K, and then we saw a retake ace. Just as a
From
comeback.
the Rook.
From the Rook.
With 3 hit fire kills.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, honestly. Not what I was expecting. So, we're going to see this Twitch actually come out. They got banned out last time from Potato.
True. We actually see a very hard push onto the penthouse.
Yeah, this is an interesting strat. I mean, if they want to just try and get
Penthouse
upstairs.
is a very secure area. It's like a good place to establish a strong.
Oh, and so on. Establishing a stronghold by taking down Shigeru. As I say, does get refragged, but opening up this wall now allows Duelist Sword to provide so much pressure from this position. Everyone tries to push out.
But with the information on the Maestro, surely the Captain should be able to utilize his utility. Especially since he is so low.
Indeed. And especially with this Twitch now, knowing exactly what this vigil is.
Well, with the visual being underneath what it says.
Yeah. A lot of drones getting taken out, actually.
But a lot of information being gathered. They know 2 people are on Aquarium.
Yeah, and now...
And we see the Maestro actually not getting burned out by the fire.
That is really annoying.
Very unfortunate or lucky.
He gets pushed onto aggressively, and Runda does take him down, and now the Senate is kind of stuck. Gets taken down finally by Potato there. Sorry, Runda. And Rundle will actually move on, but gets downed
We
instantly.
see some very good play of using information from Newcastle. Finally.
Yeah, they've made a couple of mistakes in the previous rounds, and now this aggression is really working out for them because it's measured aggression. The smoke comes down, and Belty is going to go for this plant almost instantly.
And with them knowing Vigil's last position was quite says.
That was a little bit aggressive.
It's
from
actually
Belty.
very surprising that he took all that time to rotate her upstairs.
Indeed. I was surprised Belty managed to... oh, some people are hearing out the left earphone. Let me just have a mess around with that. That should be happening.
Okay, I
could
kind of
balance on that.
but
Why is that happening?
I still
I
don't, I
actually
think
don't
it's
know.
stronger before.
Oh wait, nothing denies.
I've got a new mic set up.
I still think he's very
Sorry, yeah, I forgot.
as you can see the fact that we saw
So I'm quite unsure about how I need to actually have this properly set up. So apologies in advance if it's...
So-
oh yeah, it is balance left. Okay, I might be able to sort that out.
So here we see the defenders taking the same side again. However, they bring the castle this time. Castle actually has some very strong barricades in place, especially when he seals off luggage from Aquarium.
Yeah.
You can just go prone and play that angle. If they push that corridor, you shoot their feet. Nothing much you can do about it.
Yeah, no, that's true. Oh, I'm trying to balance this. It doesn't...
I'm kind of interested in how this Nomad will work out though.
Yeah, I think the Nomad's actually really good because it denies a lot of these roams, especially because we're seeing the Vigil from Anonymous here.
Yeah. And with only 2 stairways on coastline.
Yeah, it does mean you can prevent a lot of this from actually happening.
Especially in, like, you can place the Nomad plays and they cannot see without using utility.
Worrying about grenades now.
Sorry, I'm just trying to sort out this thing where we've got a bit coming through left ear. I will try and sort this out probably after the break, unfortunately. Sorry, you're going to have to maybe do while that happens.
We do see some more utilities being taken out in
I think it's because they want to try and reinforce it a little bit more because...
especially since last time
yeah.
the Thermite opening that wall was so important to attacking this site.
Yeah, I think it's a good adaptation from Varsity, and they've done nothing well if not adaptation in teamwork, and that's what led them to basically take, if I remember correctly, I'm trying to do maths, like 5 rounds in a row after those initial 3 rounds.
At least 4. And here we see a very aggressive spawn peek from Matt.
And has been doing them quite a lot, so I'm not particularly surprised by that. It's whether he's actually going to get anything out of it,
And
because it's only worth
do
once.
keep in mind, there are lots of spawn peeks on coastline. I can name like 6, 7 on the top of my head.
Yeah, the thing is as a result, I kind of think similarly is that it's hard to actually find one that works.
Yes.
That Thatcher grenade, sorry, didn't actually destroy the Maestro there. It didn't go quite far enough into
No.
the room.
And even if
that's
it
really unfortunate.
does hit the Maestro, it only gets disabled for it.
Yeah, but it's still
Unless it gets shot out.
interesting to see. So what? Thatcher trying to repel in, and there we go. You can see Master Mac holding these angles, making sure you don't get away with anything too cheeky, and just disrespecting the coverage that Northumbria have. This has been a thing for Newcastle. They've not been respecting a lot of what Northumbria's been making.
That was a little bit
Aircraft ready.
I think they're loath to do that because Northumbria have been
I think
very on.
yeah, the Thatcher was playing a bit too aggressive without any information.
Dude, they were. I just realized we have a double echo, and that was my fault entirely. But there we go. So we see now the Vigil rotating around, trying to catch off these players. There's going to be one
Into
rotating.
penthouse.
Doesn't actually find the shot.
He does get seen when he was quick peeking.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. Should have just actually taken the shot when they got the first chance. But as a result,
So we see someone playing the sandwich on Wednesday. And tries to do another run out. However, gets taken out because of how low he is.
Target detected.
So with it being a 4v3, with much of the utility still not being used on attacking team, I say right now it's attacking favor.
I think it is pretty attack. I like. They're in a pretty good position. Little Shiggy is still on these stairs though, which is.
He still costs like just 2 frag grenades.
Yeah.
And as I say, I was gonna talk about that, but he got taken out.
They do take down Little Shiggy for it though, and now Potato moving into a decent position. Belty is droning out, knows exactly where they want these last players are. Senate now coming under a lot of pressure, has to actually rotate out of that room. Understandably so, and now control of that site's over to Newcastle.
How good he controls it will be done.
What were you doing then, Senate?
What?
Senate? You know that doesn't work, right? Anyway,
Device in
the
position.
diffuser is going to get planted. He's going to be holding this angle. Although, does spray through, doesn't quite find the kill, but does enough because they still get this planted down. And now Keisha's going to really struggle to move. Get to the down.
I'm pretty sure. No,
No,
down.
oh, not quite
But
down, sorry.
I'm pretty sure Nomad hasn't used any of it. There's only one rotation.
Yeah, you just don't think so now it's slightly closer. And as I say that, the attackers find 2 big frags to close out the round, and Newcastle put one on the board. So it's 1-1 now for Newcastle Northumbria in this map. But we started off with a very even round in the previous map, didn't we? Because Newcastle won 2 rounds in a row right at the start, having some really good play, but then it all started to fall apart. And I think Northumbria really got an understanding, started to adapt. And I think I'm really worried for Newcastle as to whether they can bring out enough individual stuff.
And here we see a clash pick on Kitchen.
Is that good? Can you tell me, my resident Clash player?
Okay. First of all, I don't play that much Clash. Anyways, Clash, like any shield operator, is very strong when she's looking at you. She will buy you loads of time. Unfortunately, she, as the only defending shield operator, does have a lot of counters. None of which the attacking side has brought. Unfortunately, even though they see the Clash. Clash's weakness, like auto shields, is to get hit shot in back, crossfired. So it's all about a test of how much coordination your team has.
Yeah, so and right now, Northumbria looking like a very coordinated team, so I think that Clash is actually going to be really good.
Newcastle, not so much.
Yeah,
Indeed.
unfortunately so. Northumbria have been really turning them
with
new
the
ones.
Clash being an intel operator, actually, I would classify her as very useful.
For sure.
So certainly, I feel much more useful than the Miner.
I do really like this, especially because the Meister is basically this entire this few series.
Well,
with
the
the cat, been playing well as a fragger and just generally holding angles. Not a bad player. Not playing Meister.
You might as well play the dog, right?
Yeah, like why
with the
not?
bulletproof cat.
Yeah. So not exactly what I wanted to see from Northumbria, but they've been making work regardless, and that's a testament to how strong they've been playing so far. Newcastle are really gonna have to step. Oh wait, sorry, I forgot Newcastle won round 1. I thought for some reason Northumbria won it. So it is actually 2-0. Sorry. Starting off well.
Starting off third.
This could be them. Interested to see how this game's gonna work out. They tried it before on the previous map. Didn't really get to do much because they get fragged out too early.
Jaeger's been picking every single round as well.
Yeah, they are expecting this, so I like that. Newcastle, they're going to have to try and
Once again, taking control of Penthouse. However, very aggressive pushing.
Indeed, gets shoveled right back. Doesn't really find anything to do damage. Takes too much himself.
Very
He's not
aggressive
getting,
push.
yeah, just absolutely balls to the wall. And this has been Newcastle, though, to a T. They want to get aggressive. Now, getting flanked, So What is going to be under so much pressure here. The rotation has come on through, and there we see Anonymous taking down So What. And this is a big pick. Again, Northumbria, hold rotating well. We see Master Mac get taken down by the Discord. 3 flags. But again, Newcastle losing players where they really shouldn't have because they're just being too aggressive. And now they're having to waste time and utility to throw towards Anonymous. They do lose a player off site,
However,
but
that does end up taking out the spell. And downing the Legion.
reload. This is
Oh
pretty,
no, not downing the Legion, but making Legion go very low.
It's always hard to tell when they go to like 1
So
HP.
we do see a crossfire starting to be formed on Penthouse.
Alright, it kind of had to happen. The Senate moves in. As Anonymous rotates out, absolutely no HP, takes down Belty.
However, do keep in mind, Clash is the only one on site.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's pretty good at holding. I do agree that they need to be a little more careful, but I think they need to rotate back. I think you're just too far up. Anonymous is attempting to do so, but can't really move aggressively towards the site because there's just so many people covering it. I say that in the recording, but
Now with 50 seconds on the clock.
yeah, we have a decent amount of time to work with. But with the Clash, you can eat through that time very well.
Very, very well. Unless you get your teammates to do a rotation, you're not going to buy time. You're not going to be able to spend time on doing that. Well,
Oh, a huge amount. Clash getting aggressive here. Doesn't want to let them into this room. They've only got 20 seconds left, so they can work with a lot of this. And they're both attacking from the same angle. Actually, he turns away. Very dangerous. as they do move in. The prone player takes him down, and Patata is covering for Toto. As they do a double team to take down this round. And 3-0 for Newcastle, looking pretty darn dominant here on Coast. Trying to move down the sound so that you can hear us. Apparently, you've been struggling to hear us. Fortunately, can't quite see a lot of the information obviously from Twitch chat 'cause I'm trying to run stream. But hopefully that should be fixed. Again, about the left ear only, I'm very sorry. I don't quite know how to fix that at the current moment. And when it comes to the next break, next break between games, I will sort that out. So unfortunately, you will have to deal with this for the rest of round 6.
If there is a break.
There'll be at least 20 minutes break for the players, so that they can set up things, and I'll try and use that time for that. The stream may stop for a little bit because we need to swap over who's actually streaming. Actually, no, that'll only happen for Overwatch because League of Legends is going to be run here as well.
So, as they move on to Penthouse, swapping it up because the other sites were not working, we do see the mute being played, and some anti-electronics.
Yeah.
Though with the Ashen play, I highly doubt that will be an issue.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think with the Ashen play, you can just rotate around. You can take out.
Go underneath.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Pop a hole in the ground. That's the mute dealt with.
Yeah, playing those
Heck, even
vertical plays.
Yeah, even the Twitch can play with it.
That's true. I mean, it's a little bit harder with the mute potentially if you place it right. But again, as you say, the Ash can do whatever they want.
With the Maestro being picked, right now Twitch can actually spend 2 charges to just take out a Maestro count. If you did not know that.
I did not know that.
Because the first charge disables it and opens it up. The second charge shoots it and kills it. So the Twitch is now a hard counter to Maestro.
Interesting. Maybe that's why they've been banning the Twitch. Yeah. Again, sorry about the audio issues.
We do.
So, is there anything special about what Northumbria have really brought out here? Because it looks like a pretty standard comp, but we see Anonymous trying for these greedy picks.
Ooh.
Oh, will he find it? Gets a bit of a shot down. Doesn't even down them. Does get some damage onto that capital.
So far, we've seen Northumbria playing very aggressive. And simply trying to abuse the lack of awareness from Newcastle.
And it hasn't really been working out specifically on coastline.
Not so much, yes. We haven't seen an actual kill yet. Though we do see Anonymous and Matt both playing the same area, watching into Red Bar.
So I'm interested to see whether Northumbria can redouble their efforts, much like we saw in Map 1, and actually come back and sort that out. Because they had a really great, as we said a couple of times, adaptation to what Newcastle were throwing out. But right now, Newcastle is just beating them with raw power.
It's the aim duels they're losing. Just unfortunate.
Yeah.
I feel like Northumbria right now just are not playing to their strengths, which is the intel game and the cooperation between players.
Yeah.
And here we see the Jaeger getting picked.
Yeah, that Jaeger getting picked is actually pretty brutal.
Though the Thermite does get picked out, and the Ash gets traded out by Matt. Once again, very good player.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen huge frags from this player before, and making a lot of plays in general. I want to see them perhaps show up a little bit more on this map, because this map has been kind of a struggle. As we say that, they do take down Pototo, and that's a big one. They do now take up that advantage. Such a huge health advantage as well, because Solwat's basically dead man walking, and there's still a little bit of damage onto Belty.
And now with info of them both being in Hall of Fame, how will defenders pinch?
I think the defend in closing out rounds, Northumbria have been uber clean, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them close out this round. They just have it down to a T. But it's about getting there that sometimes eludes them. So yeah, I think this Senate is so what takes down Little Shiggy. Now the tables are kind of turning. So this Maestro can help down So What, but there's the res. They're going to get back up to 20. But this is a big opportunity. Can Masterman get the shot? Does quite find it. Takes down So What, and now it is 2 versus 1. And Belty has very little health to actually work with here.
And time.
Yeah, no, and that's why
Speaking
we see
of
Orange
which,
Team just take him out.
Matt gets an ace.
Yeah, big play.
Once again.
Absolutely fantastic. And he's just absolutely on top of his game so far. I really want to see more for. As I said, I was looking for more for them, and then instantly they show Matt. He's quite the crowd pleaser. And he has been showing some awesome rounds. Belty is just like, man, I'm just tired of Matt getting these aces. But prior to that, wasn't really making an impact, and I think that's why Northumbria were really struggling. Because they didn't have a lot of their players just doing what we expected.
Do we see a comeback here? With them starting taking a round?
Do we see a comeback? Part of me wants to say no because I'm a Newcastle fan. Obviously, because I'm from Newcastle University.
It is very realistic.
But it's very realistic. Northumbria, once they've cracked Newcastle, as we saw in the game one, I put a lot of power towards them. We actually see them swapping off the gridlock onto the Nomad, potentially, Toto?
It is
I want to see the gridlock.
We did see how well Nomad performed.
But I want to see the gridlock.
Well, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And
right.
Gridlock does have the problem of her gadget just isn't that good.
Yeah, but
Very
having a good
easy to
LMG
be
is
dealt
nice.
with. I mean, having the only competitively viable LMG is nice, and with a shotgun.
Yeah, like there's so much, like
And smokes.
yeah.
But
I think it's good.
Her gadget is actually good on this map as well, with such tight corridors,
Yeah, I guess it's true.
and will buy time. However, Nomad just
It's better.
does her job better.
Yeah, because you can't push into a Nomad thing, because you don't know if someone's watching it and you'll instantly die. I mean, similar thing will happen with Gridlock, but at least there's like a play around it. You can shoot them first, even if you step
can
on it.
impact it. You
Yeah.
don't need to go through it. You can go through it and not make any sound. Yeah, you only take damage.
Doesn't that make sound?
No,
That's why you have the damage taking sound.
you have damage tick, but it's much quieter than a gunshot or an explosion.
That's saying nothing, is it? Oh my
Ooh.
god, Master Matt!
And here we see a pick on the Ash.
Shit, that is a pick.
So the spawn peaks are starting to finally work out.
Yeah, and that's a scary prospect for Newcastle. If they start working out, then Northumbria starts every round one player up, and when Northumbria, as I said before, when Northumbria have the advantage,
They push
they
it
don't
very
lose it.
well.
Yeah, they push it
Yes.
very, very well. And Newcastle have been really struggling to come back. I mean, in their defense, it's quite hard to come back a lot of the time, but they've been particularly bad against Northumbria here. So, yeah. Newcastle are really going to have to kick it up a notch, show what they've shown in these prior two rounds. Sorry, for the first two rounds against Northumbria here. Otherwise, it's going to be a big struggle, because if Northumbria return to this form that we saw in game one, it's not looking so good for them. So yeah,
I'm actually quite interested in the red dot pick for a Capital.
maybe
Wait,
Belty likes red dot.
Though, like, LMG excels at holding angles.
Yeah, but Belty likes the red dot, you know. In the end, like, as much as I think reflex is the best, it's down to personal preference.
We see a little dance from the KB here.
She's just, you know, putting on a show before she frags out and just destroys everyone. I believe in Solo. I believe in you, Ben. You got this, dude. Come on. Give Newcastle a win on that board. I have a vested interest here. So what? Takes down Little Quiche. Exactly what I wanted to see.
Activating code.
Belty. Absolutely. On top of it.
Exactly like I said. Excels at holding angles.
And use the red dot for that. Yeah, I know, the red dot didn't really make a difference, but so far, Newcastle looking pretty strong. Toto putting down a lot of these nomad charges. People can't push aggressively in position, but
does
he's
get
peeking too aggressively himself and gets fragged out.
Simply doesn't realize that her head was still exposed.
It's hard to tell sometimes.
There's actually a spot between the bomb and the table that you can peek that window. It's a pixel spot.
So
That's why most people don't repel windows unless you're backbeating.
Yeah, that's fair. Belty does take down another. Shots fired through the wall.
I think Shiggy has the info.
I think she knows, yeah. Double Sword, though, is here aggressively.
Though Belty's the one with the advantage with the fire arrows.
Yeah, trying to make a hole, I think. She's too aggressively here. Might even get taken down. Tries to peek at the pistol. Moves now into a good position. But there's the Maestro Cam. Does get taken down almost instantly. The knockdown does come, but the knife's coming in. It is a 1 versus 1 now, and Belty doesn't have a lot of time. Needs to pick up the diffuser. Doesn't quite make it in time. Northumbria pick up their second round in round 5 here, and this is looking like it's very similar to what we saw on map 1. where Newcastle have that advantage early, look really strong, then
Northumbria makes the comeback.
yeah, they do. And this is not what you want to see if you're a Newcastle fan. Because Northumbria, they're on the ball right now. And they're on the warpath to try and beat this out. Actually, I'm really happy to see Newcastle with a very even scoreline because we saw it very top-heavy earlier. In fact, because Northumbria were much closer to each other.
So as we can see, with the Jackal and Sledge being picked, very consistent operators considering its kitchen and service entrance. I am kind of surprised with the Capcan. Capcan has always been seen as a...
We've seen it being picked and then swapped off before, so I
Yes.
expect to see that swapped
But
off.
Capcan his gadget's always been seen as a meme gadget.
Indeed it has.
If you're vigilant, you will not hit it.
Yeah. It's pretty fair.
Then again, Newcastle's behavior so far doesn't shout vigilance.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Okay, so they're not actually swapping off the Capcan, they're swapping onto a Clash. I think the Capcan's... Mark my words, Capcan's going to kill someone. I bet you. Newcastle are going to mess up. I love them, but they're going to mess up.
Yes.
And Northumbria have been really on the board so far. I hate to break it to you. So yeah, the Senate. Trying to get a bit of cheeky stuff down. So I really like the Capcan. I love this SMG as well. I just really like the way it
One
feels.
of the better guns
Yeah,
on the defender's side.
It's really fun to use. It's basically the reason I play Capcan. Other than to try and just go, haha, you died to my trap. Which is nice. There's something satisfying as well about Frost when someone jumps through a window and you hear that.
But
And they just
Capcan is
die.
more of it's like more obvious Legion.
Yeah, I guess.
You still gain the information from that loud ass explosion.
Yeah, Master Matt as well, looking for that spawn peak again. This time, doesn't get anything. Northumbria, probably going to be pretty comfortable anyway, because they don't lose Matt in response. They've lost Matt a couple of times before. Belty, that was an interesting drone throw.
Very interesting drone throw.
Yeah, now, finally, Runda is going to get that drone in and start making sure. They always like to take control of Penthouse here. And this is an interesting staging point, because as well, they have the sledge, so they can open up all this top floor. And little Shiggy on this Clash will be under a lot of threat. if they-
Especially from
yeah.
above.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that top floor control will be huge. So what, though? Moving here into
Does
the
not
bar.
get hit by the Capcan.
I'm impressed, so what? You've really impressed me here.
Though with the Clash, with the smoke behind the Clash, I do expect to be a pick.
I think that smoke's really strong, but how we
Ooh.
see...
A nice tight angle from Ben.
Absolutely fantastic. And just brutal, honestly. The smoke comes in. Sorry, Runda does get taken down, though.
With the sledge down, that is a very essential part of their team got missing.
Yeah, Anonymous as well is just on this flank, takes down Dolla's sword, and they took control of Penthouse, but they didn't keep control of it. They just left it open. And
Not enough vigilance, like
Yeah.
I said.
that has been Newcastle. They just haven't been on the ball. And Potato doesn't even win this duel, gets taken down by Anonymous. This flank has been absolutely stellar. It's now 1 versus 4. So what? He
Can
did such a
Ben
great thing at the start of
clutch
this
this
round.
out?
I believe. But, like, did such a great thing at the start of this round, and the team just wasn't on the same page. And they lost out as a result. Does get the information, tries to get that spray. Takes him a while, does finally get the kill.
It is the CZ, SC7, and it does
Yeah,
have
but, like-
some recoil.
Yeah, but, like, come on, dude. It does at least have this Jackal, so it can put some pressure on from above.
I don't know if he can afford to go
I don't think he has
play
the-
vertical.
I don't think he has the time, and also it's a solo player. Little Shiggy
Against
knows
a
exactly.
Clash.
Yeah, Shiggy knows exactly where he is, and it's like, what do you do against this?
With time not on his side.
No, 45 seconds left. 1 player versus 3, one of which is this Clash. He's trying to catch you in sight of him, but won't quite make it. Masterman trying to spray through as well, but so what? Starting to sprint onto sight. That's where his Clash is. The Clash knows where he is. So what? Dead to rights. There's very little he can actually do here. As just has to swap back between that Clash and the door, and as he looks at Clash, Master Matt peeks, takes him down.
Surprisingly, none of the Capcan traps actually got triggered.
That's really annoying for me. I really wanted to see a Capcan kill, but unfortunately, even more unfortunate for Newcastle. As we said before, Northumbria started to really hit their stride. This is going to be interesting, honestly.
I just felt like they started playing vertical before they even established a foothold into VIP.
I think that's true.
With only 2 people there's no one to watch, no one to drone and watch flanks.
Yeah, again, it was it wasn't the individual player. So, well, actually, I think it was there because they weren't
Indeed.
actually doing their roles. But like, it's the team as a group that's
now
failing.
we see the sides being swapped. How do you feel Newcastle will perform on
I
defense?
think it's over. So my heart says they'll do all right. They have strong players individually, but my brain says Northumbria. This happened exactly last map, and Northumbria will go into this and just they looked so strong on offense. Maybe they'll struggle a little bit early on, but Northumbria looked really good here on bank. I expect to see similar things happening because it was just a brutal dismantling of Newcastle, honestly, on the attacking side. So don't be surprised if you see Northumbria win 4 straight rounds.
We see the Valk with the shotgun. What do you think the
It's a
viability
lovely.
of this?
You know I love this shotgun. I actually think it feels really nice.
But how viable it is on this map?
There's
With
a lot of
such
it
long
has
corridors.
walls. It has walls. You can shoot people through them. That's basically it. It's not great on this map. I don't think it's very good here. Especially because you've already got the shotgun in the mirror, so you don't need to use it to open anything. That's just the way it is.
You got the shotgun on the Cade as well. I feel it's slightly redundant.
Yeah, I think it's unnecessary. But hey, whatever. If it's comfortable for you, Belty, you do you, dude. I appreciate it. There we go. Belty gets that cam outside, puts a bit of information on, and here we see the spawn peak with Runda on this clash.
Though they're standing on opposite sides.
Yeah, that's not normally how you do it, lads, but sure, whatever you want to do. Anonymous making sure they can't see any cams, extra cams, because obviously they know that there's a Valk and that it's likely that there's going to be some cams outside.
So we do see the rappel up to the little balcony where the Clash and Cade were playing.
Yeah, this is surprising that Newcastle didn't continue to be aggressive enough. And Potato, I just feel like is too far back right now. Should be a little bit further forward, playing a little bit more aggressive.
Especially since your Clash, your
Yeah,
job
that's
is
what I'm
to
trying to
gather
say, like,
intel and
yeah.
slow down the attack.
And right now, the attack is just moving in aggressively, moving into good position, taking down Dola's sword almost
And
instantaneously.
With good droning as well.
Yeah, and then the Claymore comes in, and now there is a clash.
But it is a 1v1.
Yeah, well, there's players behind, and also there's help coming in as Matt is. Keish is holding the angle, so what goes down. Northumbria again showing that on the attack they are such a strong team. Absolutely fantastic. As the Senate almost finds the back of that player there, as Dodo just has to move out of the way and is now in such an awful angle. You see Belty go down. It's all falling apart for
Clash
Newcastle.
1v5.
The Poto down. Yeah, I hate
The round's over.
Yeah,
Gotta
Runda,
say
what do
the
you do,
round's
mate?
over.
Northumbria looking like a repeat of the previous map. Which I guess is kind of helpful, because then we'll be back on track in terms of schedule. But I do want to see the stud map, because it's been really fun so far. Especially with 2 aces. And
From the same player.
from the same player as Master Matt. You can see he's on 13 kills. 5 of those are obviously from 1 round. Awesome, honestly, from that player.
Very consistent gameplay, let's just say.
I half agree with that, and then I remember back to on Bank when he tried to do a run out and just went traded 1-for-1 and like what you did.
I mean, I think that was when he got too arrogant about.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
I
like,
just got an
just
ace.
frag everyone.
Yeah, that does happen to players. It is a very common occurring thing.
A well documented phenomenon.
We do see the line being picked once
Yeah.
again. Line being a very strong operator.
Yeah,
Which I
again,
don't think the Newcastle has caught on yet. Was
They
judging
did.
by they've never played it.
no, they did. They played it once. They played it at this map.
Have they?
Yeah, they didn't use it very well, but they did use it. It was okay. They haven't practiced with it, so
I
because
felt-
most USL teams wouldn't have practiced with it.
Speaking with Line, I feel that his changes has benefited teams because he gets the extra charge and faster time, but you don't get to see through walls anymore. So it's worse than solo queue, but better for teams. Because the time pause is just still that good.
Yeah, it basically just freezes players in place. It's a bit like that children's game where like if they're looking at you, you can't move. But this time with high-tech gadgets and guns, which is a little bit different. I will admit. Belty, it's taking you a while to get this placement down. All right, there we go. Finally, does get the right one down. Newcastle ready for this defense. I don't know how ready they will be. Toto.
That
That's a
is-
really nice spot. I actually really
That
like
is a very memeish spot.
because we've actually seen Newcastle try to plant there before.
And that is actually a very typical plant spot.
Yeah. Victory normal. What's trying to find that shot? Does find a little bit of damage onto Anonymous on this thermite. If they got that thermite kill, I think it'd be very nice. But they don't get it, unfortunately. So what? Continuing to try and play these aggressive angles. This is what I know So What for. A couple of other people who've seen him play might know him from that as well. But it's not really working out. Newcastle's
Especially
gambits.
Since Northumbria is
Don't
such
run.
a team-based game, he's just gonna get pinched.
Yeah, he is.
I have a feeling he's just gonna get pinched off site.
Yeah, we do see.
As we say that, the lion does get taken out, and that is some very
Oh, that was a big frag from So What.
as you called the fact the Thermite being killed would have been a big value play.
Yeah, and that is an
happens.
impact frag.
Indeed.
Not a kill with an impact, but impactful in and of itself. So what going down? Quite nice, as they do even up the scoreline. And this has been Northumbria. They refrag really well. I love spectator bugs. They never happen. Nah.
Ooh,
Oh my.
Peeker's advantage.
Matt
Very
should not
unfortunate.
get away with that, though.
No.
I think he was on his phone. I think he still was, actually. And that goes to show kids, never sit on your phones, little quiche. Just get taken
Though,
down by Rumba.
with the new Dokkaebi changes, people don't realize you can just let it go, let it ring. Your mum's gonna hang up eventually.
No, you cannot not answer your mother. Never do that. They will end you. That is, and also, it's just not okay. As
Ooh.
again, Runda holding really well from these stairs. Does get forced out a little bit by this Twitch drone. Kind of playing more of an annoyance than anything. Just going, aha. You know you're the last player alive, right, Senate? It's 1 versus 2. This is winnable. We've seen so many 1v2s in these games. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it again. But Runda is going to heal themselves up. Rendering that shock drone essentially useless. That was such a bad timing from Senate. Turned away literally as Runda peaked. Belty though, sitting.
Well, technically, Newcastle should win this as they have both the man advantage and time on their side. And if they play safe, they will simply just win this.
Yeah, the issue is Newcastle take a lot of aggressive peaks where they really don't need to. Though the Senate is struggling to find a way on in, because right now Newcastle are playing that slow and sensible and steady position. And Runda knows that...
Well, with 13 seconds
Yeah.
on the clock,
Yeah,
Twitch
this is not
has to
gonna
make a push.
So, we'll get them, and that'll be the end of the round. That was nice, actually. That was a really good closeout from Newcastle as they even up the scoreline 4-4. Newcastle found some good shots, pretty good shots. Interesting thing now is so with that, have Newcastle found their footing again? That's the question I have. I think it's unlikely personally, but
I
could
think
do
it's
stuff.
unlikely. That
Yeah.
round balanced.
That was because they got some nice early
especially
picks.
on the Thermite,
Yes, the thermite kill was.
as well as the other kill.
Mhm.
That I think that was the pivot point. Where
They
where
they
the
need to
round side
find
tilted
early
in
picks.
Newcastle's favor, indeed.
Otherwise, Newcastle don't really get anything on these defensive rounds, and it's really hard to get those consistently. And even so much so that So What has moved on to the clash.
Though we do see action on Penthouse Theatre without any anti-hard breach.
Yeah, I actually really like swapping over to Valkyrie here. I think it's really good for this site.
But is it okay without the bandit? Then again, they do have the buck, and it's only a matter of time before they deal with it.
Yeah, that's true. I think basically the reason they actually showed the clash is because they were trying to imply they weren't going to Penthouse, trying to catch them off guard with their flex pick, maybe. Who
But we
knows?
do see them win hookah. And the only viable... I mean, I guess you could try to imply going kitchen. But buck,
Yeah, I mean,
buck is good on both sides.
Yeah, that's the thing. I really like this Valkyrie. As I said before, I think on coastline Valkyrie is hugely strong. There's so much they can do with it.
So many cam spots.
Yeah, it's easy to hide. Just really useful to get all that information because you have to check every single corner for them because, as you said, so many cam spots that it's almost impossible to actually find them all unless you get lucky. I'm interested. So, did they reinforce that back wall? I don't think they've even done that. I can't quite. see
Surely
from
they
here.
have.
They must have. Is what I say. But so far, Newcastle have done some interesting things. This is a run out from So What.
Yes, a very typical
so what run out.
Yeah, Ben style play.
He just goes, so what, and throws caution to the wind. As Master Matt's going to push up aggressively into this area, but it's going to
Ooh.
drone. That is key. Sees it as a player there, and instantly starts trying to spray through the wall. Gets
Tag.
a little bit of damage.
Does use the C4 to get himself out of a tight spot.
Yeah, but that's unfortunate because obviously the C4 is great utility. But better to use the C4
Better
than
have
die.
a player than not use
Yeah.
the C4.
Interested to see how they're going to use this buck, because right now the buck's up here. And it's not a bad position to be in, but it's not particularly useful. I think you want to take it underneath and start blowing open those holes. But you have to watch out because there are some players trying to rotate around. Runda's holding a very aggressive angle.
I'm actually very surprised they haven't tried to establish VIP control and just open that wall. Such a vital wall.
Yeah, it is. I think Northumbria are kind of confused about what to do on this side. They just don't seem to be very well prepared for it.
Ooh, that is a very nice pixel shot.
Yeah,
And we see Soa getting taken down by Anonymous.
yeah, it was a really nice play. Runda, quite the aimer, utilising those ACOG as well. And that's Diffuser as well, quite far away.
Ooh. But we also see the Jaeger getting taken down.
Yeah.
With the buck playing underneath, how do you feel?
I really like it. I think it's a great way to play. Runda is going to be under a lot of pressure now. The star player right now for the team. It's difficult to hold any of a lot of these really strong angles because you can just get shot from below, and you can't be looking at the door because you have to check below.
Ooh.
Though,
Belty does make a pick on the DKB.
yeah, that's pretty
And
nice.
with that being gone, even though they've made picks, they haven't had cams yet, especially since they have a Valkyrie.
Yeah, Master Matt.
That
under
is
a lot of
some
pressure
vital
this season.
information there.
Now lacking.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Master Matt's trying to peek on into an entry.
Well,
onto the
they've
side.
retrieved their diffuser.
Doesn't know where. Yeah, they had to send someone out to do that. They don't have a lot of time though. Newcastle holding well, playing more patient, and this is what we want to see from
Ooh,
them.
bad timing.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. And now knows exactly where this smoke is, and that's why we see the spray towards it. They've got 35 seconds left on the clock. Newcastle under a bit of pressure here. Here comes the Candelas.
So it is a smoke and a lesion.
Yeah.
And they always play well with the time on their side.
Indeed they do. That lesion is brutal. That almost downs them, and the impact doesn't quite land. That could have taken down Master Matt and completely changed around. Ball Sword is still trying to spray. They've only got 10 seconds left on the clock, and Northumbria need to do it now. The C4 goes in.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry, the Legion goes in, but Master Matt takes down Dawler's Sword. It is 3 versus 1.
However,
1
Diffuser
versus
is
1.
down, and Master Matt is super low.
Yeah, he's just hiding. Belty.
Clutches it out.
Absolutely stellar, honestly. Using that shotgun to great effect. You were doubting shotguns before?
Northumbria
Huge
might
fan.
not make that comeback.
No, maybe they won't. Newcastle taking up to 6-4. Sorry, 5-4. I can't count.
It's
I
okay.
have no counting abilities, so I'm doing computer science rather than
Blame it
maths.
on the Jedi mind tricks, yeah.
You blame it on the Jedi mind tricks. Oh, yeah. Again, apologies about the mic issues. I do not know why they're happening. So I'm going to have to try and sort that out in between games. So hopefully that gets sorted out after Rainbow Six, which could be quite a while, and we could not be back on track in terms of time, because this is overrunning even now. Even if Northumbria pull it back. it's
So
gonna be
with the
overrunning.
new operator being Blitz on this team,
Oh,
how would you think Blitz would attack Kitchen?
from the front. Sorry. That just seemed really funny to me.
Sorry. Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Let's look at.
Am I wrong?
Let's look at the team
Am I wrong?
composition.
Am I wrong?
They do have a smoke and a lesion.
They do. They do.
Blitz is not in a very good position unless they have the intel to know where to avoid the traps.
That's true. But also, they can force out these smokes. That's something else which they can do, which has been troubling for them, because actually, we've seen the last 2 rounds that Newcastle have won go to time.
And purely because of the smokes buying so much time.
Belty, huge on this, honestly. Really fantastic smoke player.
2 very
Great
valuable picks from last round.
Great shotguns as well. I love a good shotgun. Shout out to my boy, Dr. Pie. What a G.
Ben being slightly confused here.
What's he confused about? Oh, okay, he's just trying to get a cheeky pick off. This is a hard, proper run out. What are you doing?
Might be further
He's just
outside.
he's
no.
trying to reapply it.
Well, we do see him baiting out a line scan.
Yeah. So he does force out some of the utility with just a roam. That's really
Ooh.
effective. Oh my, Master Matt holding an angle. That is not something that
Runder
we can
does get traded out super early in the round, purely because of a bad rotation at a very wrong time.
Yeah, and now we see the drone begin.
Not
Master Matt,
enough situational awareness. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Belty's on the ball, does take out that drone. Big opportunity. But now, Northumbria looking to take top floor control so that they can just apply pressure
Especially
vertically.
with the buck, yes.
Yeah, the buck is a really nice pick here. And there's
Like,
no one really there to contest
Here
him.
they do know where the Legion is, I believe, with the buck and the frag grenades. That is an easy frag.
We do actually see a player rotating up. I believe that's the Legion. Actually starting to move up the stairs now. But Master Matt finds so what? As it's just really holding well. Playing those angles fantastically. Takes 2 players out so far. And Quiche is able to find so much information using his blitz.
However, without the smoke grenades, can he actually push in?
I think, yeah, he just does, because no one's really holding the area. Toto has to have to move out and is now sitting back here in hallway, right next to the stairs. Master Matt's just trying to find the angle as soon as they move aggressively. They're just looking the wrong way. Master Matt does go down, though.
And with only Legion playing on white stairs,
Yeah, this is
can she
over.
win the 1v1 against Blitz?
No. You don't win that very often. Now it's 5-5.
Once again, a very typical example of how the defense got dismantled. Purely because of 2 very questionable decisions by some
Yeah,
members
so just
of their team.
crossing areas and moving into places which they don't have control of without
course
any
you will
checking.
expected that early into the round,
True.
but it happens.
Mhm.
You need to be more aware, especially in terms of a game like this, where one small mistake can throw the whole game.
Indeed it can. We're going to see that line come out again from Little Shiggy, sorry, not Little Siggy. I like it. It's been working really well for them. They've used it to close down some of those aggressive pushes. It's been really difficult if you are Newcastle to get aggressive here. I definitely do. And I agree that it's been looking really strong. IQ, interestingly, coming out. No hard...
They do
breach.
see the Vigil, Alibi, Legion, and Valk. That is a lot of electronics.
Yeah. It's pretty
And
easily counted.
I haven't confirmed this yet, but I think the Vigil pick was mainly because Vigil can now avoid line. I'm not sure.
It seems a little bit niche of a pick, because the line has been providing a lot of value, but I don't think that's why you should pick it. It might be why they did, but I think it's unnecessary. Just play around the line.
With such aggressive playstyle.
Yeah. I think it's just because he
Even
wants
if
to play
it doesn't work out, I think Vigil will still suit how he plays.
Yeah, so I don't complain about the pick, but I don't think that's a good reason for it. I think So What's just particularly good at it. So,
Setting up a diversion.
a lot of drones going around. Check it out. Belty now on this Valkyrie, back again with the Spaz 12. So, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy he's using that. I love it when those shotguns see some love. Something interesting which I want to bring up is potentially this the KB inline combo again, because obviously I was brought up when it first happened, and it's still very effective. It can really lock players down because then you know exactly where they are at all times.
So being slightly late on the peak.
Yeah, not really. In the
However, he does not know that someone's still in ruins. Does he have the patience to stay though?
I think So will probably rotate soon. Yeah, there we go. We see him rotate back on over. There's no real need for them to be there, especially if they aren't expecting anyone. Because he did do it too late, so you wouldn't expect anyone to be waiting in ruins, even though there is.
Yeah.
With this IQ, it's just not what you're looking for.
Activating shock drone.
I really like the fact that they're using Alibi at Newcastle. It's a pick you don't see much of. We've been seeing it a lot in these games because obviously teams use it. But it's been really fun to actually see it used.
Well, that's another line scan. 2 line scans down, very early on into the round, with not much value, it seems.
Designed to push up very
it
aggressively.
does let them take control of the map,
Because they know no one's going to be there.
of course. And they're now very close, directly next to site.
Yeah, now they
And
get
with
view.
no more line scans. But they're right next to site. And with their utility, it's a very big guarantee that they can plant.
Line making an impact frag, taking down So What on this Vigil. Now, not a lot of wild cards that can really deal with what's going to be thrown at them. They can potentially try and go for this cheeky plant and just cover it. Like, who's going to contest them there? Because they can't really get on in there. Trying to get the shot under. Shiggy finds another one. So far, being the big fragger for this team. They're going for the plant, and there is the covering fire. They need to stop anyone from pushing out. They really haven't done it, and as a result, Mastermat is going to get away with this. The C4 doesn't actually find the kill, and this is just big, as Anonymous just walks on in, takes that kill. There's a player hiding around the corner. Anonymous takes him down as well, and this is 1 versus 5 now for Newcastle. Toto is the last player remaining. As is Alibi, can kind of play a little bit tricksy, but there's just so much to deal with with
Indeed.
4 players, obviously. Getting called as well.
Especially since the bomb is already down.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. There we go.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, the attackers do take that. Northumbria on match point yet again. Newcastle.
Once
your
again,
time.
the defense has been dismantled.
Yeah, and they got a couple of rounds, actually. They snuck a couple in, here and there. But in the end, Northumbria do manage to beat it out.
And here we move on to match point.
Yeah, this is... Newcastle are going to have to bring out something special here. Because right now,
Or
they're being read like
more
books.
consistent gameplay.
No, I just think they know they need something special because they're being read like a book. Even if they play consistently, it doesn't matter. Because what they're doing is the same every time. So, yeah. I like the Frost from Potato. It's something I know that they specifically play. Abby is a huge fan of that Frost. So, go with these comfort picks for the final round. Because you might as well lose on something that you know can work than just trying something special. So I see that line of logic. This Jackal for Mastermat has actually been fantastic so far. The Jackal actual ability, the Inox, has been pretty decent, but it's just Mastermat in general has been utilizing the C7
I feel
very
like
well.
it has been putting on pressure on the
Yeah.
defenders.
Yeah.
Even though I don't
hasn't
think
actually
they've
done
been
too much.
using the
Yeah.
utility to its maximum benefit.
The fact that it's there is enough threat in and of itself. Yeah, I'm really excited to see if Toto will get killed with this mounts. I love the sound. I've said before. It's just such a great sound. Shout out to the sound engineers. They're the best. They provide us with satisfying sound effects.
I'm actually very surprised I haven't seen Mozzie yet.
It's got banned.
Did it?
Yeah. They banned both games.
Mutually.
No, it's just banned.
What do you mean?
There's a pick and ban phase, Terry.
They didn't ban Mozzie?
Yeah, they did.
Did they?
No, you said Mozzie.
Yeah, Mozzie.
Oh, mutually, yeah, it's banned. No one's allowed to play.
Okay.
That's why we didn't see the gridlock, I think.
Because I was wondering, Mozzie is such a meta changer.
Also, these teams haven't practiced with it, even if it was. So, they want to win this Varsity. So, they're going to go with their tried and true because,
Of course.
even if Newcastle might lose out here, they've still been pretty good in terms of individual play. I'm not particularly
Gets choked out. and
Little
taken
Shiggy has been really showing up in these last few
Yes.
rounds.
out. Once
So
again,
what? No, stop it.
But
I can't believe you got away with that.
the kill on Doc was once again a very prime example of them using intel very well.
They do lose the IQ though.
Like, the Doc got droned out, immediately got fragged.
Yeah.
Just very, very good team coordination.
Indeed. Northumbria have been really on top of it, and just as you say, working as a team, moving as a team, utilizing information using drones, even when they're using the Jackal where they can. The Lion has been such a huge part of the strategy, and it's just all these things that come together and so very effective.
However, with the IQ down, the Valkyrie is able to use the cameras.
That's true. That's true. Oh, Shiggy moving in aggressively, very close. That was. If you walk into that, you really feel a kick in the teeth.
Yes.
Mastermat's trying to get the scan. Wants to get it down. I believe they have cams control, so that's actually really good for them. The IQ. I wouldn't be able to take them, but instead they just take control. And Mastermat has been fragging out across the board. That's been the thing, which has been a consistent throughout both of these games. And just such a huge individual player. They're starting to clean up. Newcastle are down to 2 players. Aggressive peaks from Mastermat. They don't know quite where that player is, but they can still push in on them. They're going to be able to see those footprints, and the scan will come in. Shiggy deals with a pretty standard camp. The Senate opens it on up, but there's only 1 player left. What do you do if you're this last player? If you're sitting in the back of the site? You do get scattered out, but gets a 2k, brings it down to 1
Has
versus
he
2.
clutched it out?
Has
The plant
next
does
to no
go
health.
down.
Has next to no health. Has to make a play. Is being covered on 2 angles. I hate to say it to you, Dollar Sword. It's unlikely that you're really going to make it out of this, and Northumbria might just win it here. The Senate is holding the angle, just waiting for anyone to make that push. And they have all the time in the world, and there we see Little Shiggy taking 3rd kill that round, and Northumbria take it 2-0 in a dominant fashion. Initially, Newcastle looked like they had it down, but in the end, Northumbria just shut them down completely, and Newcastle do get taken out. We are going to head off for a quick break before Overwatch for about 20 minutes, and hopefully we'll see you as soon as possible. We'll try and get the stream back up ASAP, so see you then.